Okay.
Or you don't like turning on the camera? I think it's okay if you turn it on. Yeah?
But it's fine. It's okay.
Yes, yes. You can turn it on. Ah, this is good. How have you been?
I've been okay.
Yes. What of the other classes? I hope you're attending every other class. Eh?
Yeah, I'm attending them. Though I never attended last time. I have checked in the portal Nikon. Last time we had to do a chat group. There was to do another Zoom class. I never attended.
But I think for me, for our class, the computer fundamental class,
Okay.
actually this is our second class with you, yeah,
Okay.
which is very positive, and I must appreciate that actually you've been attending. You're not missing classes, which is very very positive for you, yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, I think that's okay. You have read the notes.
Yeah.
What have you gone through?
Okay. I've gone through. There's the features of an ICT in an organization.
Yes.
Advantages, disadvantages. I've done characteristics of a computer. Advantages of a computer as well.
Yes.
Types of OS.
Types of OS. Yes.
Yeah. Also types of operating system. The Microsoft Windows, Macs, and Linux. And also in hardware components. I've also gone through some opening and closing of word processing application and the files.
Yes.
I think that's where I am now.
Maybe I think we can actually use the lesson before I take you on. Maybe we do something on file storage and compression.
Okay.
And maybe I can just get to gauge you so that I get to know whether the notes they're saying that you've written, whether you're reading them. It is important to know that you're reading. Eh?
Okay.
Yeah, it is very, very important to know that you're reading. And maybe you can just do like a quick recap. Some of the hardware components you can get to remind ourselves.
The hardware components.
Yes, yes.
There's input devices, output devices, system unit, that the CPU.
Yeah.
Storage devices, communication devices.
Yeah.
And the main memory.
And the main memory. Maybe any example, one or two examples of the input devices.
Keyboard.
Sorry?
There's a mouse.
Yes.
Barcodes.
Barcode scanners.
Scanner. Yeah.
Yes. I think that's very positive of you. I'm happy.
Okay.
I'm happy that at least you're able to remember some of these. Well, I think at the very beginning we started by just getting to introduce ourselves to computer fundamentals, which I think so far you've been able to go through. And then, of course, some of the IT services, we've also checked on that. And basically, this is like week one. So for me, I think I can actually confirm from your responses that, you are really taking your study seriously, which is very, very positive. On week 3, if I just go to week 3 direct, of course, week 3, there was the issue of the management of files and the management of files in a computer. And this basically was just covering about, the content within a computer. There is this video here. I hope you can see it. You can see my screen.
Yeah.
Yes. There's this video here that I've actually recorded showcasing maybe how to create a folder. And I think in the same folder, in the same video, there is how basically one can create a folder and then get to save work on it. So when you talk about the management of files in a computer, you're basically referring to how one can be able to create files, or rather whatever data already is in the computer, how all that information can be done, what can be saved. and not just saving it anywhere, but actually saving it in the appropriate place. You get that?
Yeah.
This is basically what is in that. Of course, there was the live chat that I'd already put there. Sometimes I normally try to engage students. So you keep at all times in each and every week as we progress with our study, always keep checking on this particular live chat here. You see the link, eh?
Okay. Yeah.
Very good. And then down somewhere here, we talked about the storage. When you're talking about the storage, maybe I'll click on that particular link so that it can take us basically to the main devices that you basically use to store data. Remember, under the storage, it is one of the groups of the hardware components. And so some of those hardware components that we have at the hard disk, you can see the hard disk. The hard disk is the internal. Today, you're still using a smartphone?
Yeah, but I can see clearly. I'm zooming.
Very good. That one is very, very good. You can see actually the hard disk, and the image of the hard disk actually looks like that. And this one, remember, we have got the internal hard disk, and of course, normally we also what we also call the external. So in the internal hard disk is basically what we use to store data. Like the machine that I'm currently using, there's a lot of notes, of course, that I've actually developed and saved in my machine. So all that material is actually residing within this particular what? Within this particular device. You get it?
Yeah.
That is a very, very good image. And like I've just said, apart from the internal hard disk, we also have what is called what? The external what? Hard disk. The external hard disk is just similar as the internal one, only that the external one will be able to use it a lot of times for saving, or rather if I want to move data maybe from one place to the other. Like all these nodes at the end of it all, we shall be saving them and actually having them backed up elsewhere. A lot of times the external hard disk is normally used for backing up what? Backing up data. And as you can actually see here, they're talking about backing up of files. They could be, when you talk about the files could be even the notes that you're reading here. They could be movies, they could be photos, and many other things. The other storage device or other groups of storage devices that we have is what we call as the network drive. Where I am seated right now, we have got a network that has been set up. And so in most cases, when you don't have external storage devices, then whatever data that you get to process in your computer, all that kind of information, you can always have it backed up elsewhere. So we have one central machine connected that everybody is able to connect to, and then we get to save data on it. This central machine, a lot of times, the name that we basically use is normally referred to as a server. There's a term that I've actually used there, server. So you work from, yes, your individual machine, but you don't save work on it. It is your duty now to ensure that whatever you're working up on, it is saved in a central place. Normally, such kind of systems that maybe is centrally placed somewhere where many people are using these, it is the type of storage that actually we implement for such kind of a setup. Where, like for example, when we resume back to physical classes, you'll be seeing that from the campus where you visit, if you pay fees, if you do anything related to finance, all that is normally interlinked and stored in the clouds. So we simply refer to that as, like a server. It is a similar setup that one can be able to do. Even say if you have like even 5 machines, and I'm very sure a lot of times you normally visit the cyber cafe. And if you go to the cyber, you normally find the client machines are all around, but then the person that basically serves in the server normally in the cyber normally refer to them as a cyber operator, has one machine with them, so that anytime you ask for any service, like maybe you want to print, then they'll be able to tell you print via this name. Anytime you want to maybe even log out, when you log out and you want to make some payments, they tell you, okay, come and pay. And they, of course, automatically they give you even the amount that you want to pay. It means that the application they're using is directly connected to their machine. And so the machine they're using would simply be given one simple name as what? As a server. So the network drive is one of those very good ways of also getting to back up your what? Data. I don't know if you like watching movies, but I'm very, very sure even from where you live, there are people out there who do this business of selling movies and the rest. So if say I want a particular movie, I would simply walk to a shop, then I ask them, okay, kindly, I want to buy this. You give them the title, then they actually burn it for you on your CD. You can use a DVD disc or just the ordinary CDs, whose capacities normally range between 650 to 700 MB of data. You get that?
Yeah.
I hope you're together. So these are some of the devices that you basically use to store data. So when you talk about file storage in a computer, then you're simply referring to this kind of storage. The other thing about the same is, even as you save our files and folders, whatever data we have in the computer, then where are we saving them? To organize the same, one also needs to have something we call a folder in a computer. I'll try and open this particular link here so that we just go and I get to show you the differences. The content of this particular link here is to show you basically the difference between what to refer to as a file and what to refer to as what? A folder.
Folder.
Yes, and it is well outlined there. When you talk of a folder, we're simply referring to, a folder is simply a container. It basically carries other files. I don't know. Of course, where you live, you have got your clothes and all that. So all these you normally store them maybe in what? You normally have them stored in a suitcase.
Wow.
Exactly, something like that. So you have to carry all those clothes, then you put them in a suitcase or even in a small bag, and of course that bag is closed. So that bag, ideally in a computer, maybe to assimilate that, would say that that is like a folder where you store the other clothes within it. So a folder is a container that basically carries files. But within a folder, you can also get other more folders within it. So in Windows, we say that a folder inside another folder is referred to as what? A sub-folder. You get that? And let me just take you to the desktop so that I get to show you some of the files. Have a look at my desktop here. Of course, I hope you can be able to see clearly. Yeah? Are we together?
Yeah.
Yes. Now, from here, I have got this folder here. We call it e-learning. Another folder that I have is January 2021 plans. Or let me try to zoom them. Let me try to zoom them and increase the size. Let me increase it further. I just put them as large icons. And I hope now it is very clear. Cynthia? Yeah?
Well, I cannot see anything. What's the pointer?
Or you only able to see the pointer?
No, even the pointer itself, I cannot see.
Okay, I know it is because of the magnification. Sorry, the size of the smartphone that you're using, rather the size of the screen. But let me just put the difference. You can see this. This one here is a folder containing some notes. In fact, you notice that when I try to open it, I'm able to see its contents. And one of the contents that is there is like the hardware component. So it means that these will simply be referred to as a folder on one side. This is another folder. So I'm just trying to separate folders from the other files. So all these that we have here, all these I would simply refer to them as what? Folders. But the files that I have is, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, 5, and 6. So if I have all those files on the desktop, I can simply go ahead, then I get to create one folder on the desktop, and I'll call it my desktop files. After doing that, then I get to move all the files to that particular folder. Have a look at that. So I will cut all that, move them, and have them saved all here. Very good. Let me just close this other one so that we're also able to move it there, all of it, so that everything goes direct to the desktop. Very good. So what I'm all left with here are all folders, meaning each and every folder here, as you can see very well, has got various files within it. So the folders on a desktop is very easy to notice them. They normally appear like in yellow. And you notice the way it opens in a way. You can see that. Anyway, there is actually, I think, like a video that I've actually made of the same, which I'll share, and it will be able to give you the kind of demonstration that I'm trying to do on my desktop here. Very good. I'll take you back, and then we just try to see some of the differences. Like a file has got an extension. You can see the key, there's a column for file, and then there's another column for what? Folder. So a file has got an extension. We say that files may or may not have extensions, while folders completely do not have extensions. You see that? Are we together?
Yeah.
That is one of the major differences. And then we go to container, that a file cannot contain another file or folder within it, but a folder contains other files or what? Folders within. And like I said, a folder inside another folder is referred to as what? A subfolder. This is why when you come to my desktop and I open, say, like, I open this folder labeled Flavio. If I open it, I'm able to see some other more folders within it here. So these would refer to as subfolders. So there's a difference between just a folder and a subfolder. A subfolder, note that it is a folder inside another what? Another folder. Am I clear? Am I clear?
Yeah, yeah.
Good. Files have got attributes. Check here. Like when you talk about the file attribute, we have the name, we have the extension, we have the date, the time, length, and protection, whether it is read only or hidden. The folders, on the other hand, only has name, date, time, protection. With the files, we can be able to open, we can be able to save, rename, print, email, and modify. On the other hand, folders can only be removed, they can only be renamed, they can only be deleted and shared. We can't print folders. You get the difference?
Yeah.
When it comes to sharing, files cannot be shared over on a network on their own. It means, remember I talked about sharing of files within a network. If I want to share files within a network, then all those files must be within a folder. So it is only the folder that can be done, what can be shared within a network. You get it?
Yeah.
Yes. Most of this that we're basically doing here, well, apart from you studying using your smartphone, are there days that maybe you can basically be able to access like a computer?
In the cyber
Or you can only be able to access in the cyber? In the house, we don't have one.
Yeah, we don't.
You don't. Okay, maybe in the cyber once in a while.
Yeah, we don't have.
Okay, no problem, no problem, no problem. But once in a while, you can always, you know, maybe go and practice even on the in the cyber. Maybe some 1 hour, you pay something small so that you can be able to relate the video that I'm playing here. But anyway, just get to know that whatever we're basically covering here, a lot of it is theoretical what? Theoretical content. When you people resume for physical learning, we'll be able to cover the practical part that is left. So,
Okay.
so you should not get worried so much about whether you are able to access a computer or not. So I decided to have us share that today, but I want you to maybe go back, like I can confirm basically that you really have been reading. So I want to that you go back to this week 3 and then try to check on each and every lesson. Whatever content is there, try to write it down, play these audio files so that you're also able to understand what has been explained. It's okay.
Yeah.
I think that is what I would say is part of our today's class. And maybe if you have got any questions or concerns, you can be able to raise it so that I will try and attend to it just before, you know, we basically end. You have got any
No,
questions?
I'm okay.
You're okay.
No.
So kindly, the remaining time, of course, as you can see, is around 2:27 p.m. I want to request you that maybe you go back to that week 3 and then you try to write the notes. One thing I can confirm that I've gotten from you is that you're really trying to read as much as you can. The questions that I've been able to post to you, you're able to respond to. That basically confirms to me that you are reading the notes. So
Okay.
So thank you very much for today. And let's meet in our next class. Like I said, all Thursdays we'll always be doing our what? We'll always be doing our Zoom classes. So you will also be getting another link for our next class come next week. So
Okay.
thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.